Ah, this is pumpkin spice time of year. Yeah, I love my bay windows, man. These big door windows. Every morning I look out them. Hey, welcome to another episode of How I Screwed That Up. No, anyway, so I don't know if I can make this a quick video or not. There's a lot of information that I would like to, give you guys. So let's talk HVAC. So there's like three basic concepts, right? You got your wall unit that you put in your window, or a window unit you put in, and those things are noisy. Who wants to deal with those? And then you have your duct and your ductless systems. Okay, so your mini split in Europe, the mini splits and the ductless systems have been really big for decades. And the ones they're you go to Mexico, you see them all the time in Mexico. Really, the ductless system of the mini splits are really efficient. And so the question I have, many people say, well, why are they efficient? Well, for a couple reasons. And this is kind of physics, laws of physics. Air is considered a fluid. So if you were to build a house and put a duct system in, and you wanted to move air from one end to the other, you got to move this fluid through these pipes, these ducts, and there's friction involved and whatnot, and you lose some heat and conditioning in the air there. So it turns out physically, it costs more money and less efficiency to move that fluid, the air fluid, because you have all the friction stuff, from one end of the house to the other. And so the ductless system, the mini splits, when you put one head at one end of the house and you put the head at another end of the house, all you are doing is moving coolant from one end from your pump or your compressor to that head. And so it's more efficient to move the coolant through the little pipes than it is the air. So that's one huge reason why these mini splits, here you are right there, that's the indoor unit. And you'll notice, yes, I got the cart in front of the horses there. I put the unit on before I put the walls on, and that's really a no-no, because when you go to put the walls on, you have to take this thing apart and you lose coolant and blah blah blah. So I'll deal with that later. I just had to get in from that. I was camping outside anyway. So to talk about efficiency, so the other thing is called variable speed. What do you mean by variable speed? These mini splits, the ductless systems, the pump or the outside unit has a fan, and brings air through the heat exchange. And so what happens is these mini splits have variable speed. So you might see your fan just barely turning, like 10 or 20 revolutions a minute or something, and then when it really needs some heat or cool, it 1,500 miles an hour or whatever, So because it's variable speeds, that's another reasons why it's more efficient. So these heat pumps and these things have come a long way. And then of course spacing. Who has space to run ducts all through an 8-foot by 40-foot steel box? I guess you can run them underneath or above, but it just makes a whole lot of sense to run these mini splits and a ductless system. So the one I choose, and probably you're going to ask me, how many tons did you go with, or how many BTUs? Well, the one that I got a special deal on mine. A guy had gone to an auction and bought it for 50 cents on the dollar. I guess it was a return. Someone bought it on the internet from a box store, and he went to an auction and bid it on this and got the bid, and it's still in the box crate and everything. It was great. This was a 20, I want to say, I think it was like a 2900 BTU, and it was a multi-head. It can do 3 heads. And that's another big question I asked the HVAC guy. How many heads do I need? What are the BTUs? And, you know, so what I ended up doing was just the opposite of what I was going to do. The HVAC guy that I talked to says, well, you probably want to get a 1200 here in the bedroom, and then in the utility room put another 1200 BTU head there, and have 2 separate units. He says 2 separate units, you know, 2 1200s is the same cost as 1 multi-head 2400. It works out to be the same. It's whether you buy 1 unit or 2 units. It says you want to go with 2 units because if one breaks, you still have another unit working. Where you had a multi-head unit, pump thing. If one broke, they both are going out. So I was going to buy 2 units, 2 1200 BTU units, and I decided, well, this deal came up, and I bought a 2900 BTU that does 3 heads for like $1,100, and retails for like $2,000. So I couldn't pass this one up, and I've been using it for a week or now, and it's been in the 30s here in Texas where I live, and it's nice 71 degrees inside, so it's definitely keeping up with the temperatures. And I was a little concerned about the heat pump, getting down, -0 or 30 degrees, whether it could work. Not, it seems to be working just fine. So I really think, I haven't gotten my electric bill yet, so I can't compare it, but just the physics of moving air versus moving fluid is a big deal, and the variable speeds on the fans, I think that's a big deal too. So that's why I made the decision that I made, and whatnot. So one more thing I want to cover with you guys. I'm going to try to make this video short for the friends that are just tuning in just to see what I'm doing. I didn't make a mistake, but I didn't calculate this. As in the video, you probably in the time lapse, you saw me build an L frame bracket that sits on the side of the Connex box, and I bolted those in versus welding them in for 2 reasons. One, I have insulation. Obviously, I don't be welding outside with the insulation. 2, if I want to take that bracket off, I can just unbolt it. I use drilled a 3/8 hole, put some 3/8 bolts in it, call it good. 3/8 seems to work a good all-around bolt size to work with. But something you should know, this is important, that even though this is a brand new compressor unit, outdoor unit, and they are nice and balanced and everything, you still get a harmonic tone. In other words, a hum. You can't get away from it, it's just physics. But when you mount a metal bracket on a metal box and you have a metal compressor, the vibrations run throughout the whole thing. So as the fan turns and starts up, you get this harmonic vibration through your Connex box. So, but that's okay for me because it's not bad. But in a month or so, right out here, I'm going to break ground on some pillars and some concrete, and we're going to actually move this Connex box over to there, and I want everything to be together as it moves over. So probably what I'll end up doing is building a cement block patch and put the compressor on top of it and eliminate the brackets altogether. So just FYI for you DIY geniuses out there, if you attach it to the side of your container, you're probably going to get a harmonic vibration through your whole thing. It's not bad, but you know that it's on. It's just better to put it on a concrete slab and be done with it. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell of all the HVAC stuff. Pretty simple to install. you'll notice that I ran the coolant lines inside the house, and that was if you go back to my other video on the insulation, there's a reason why I went 2-inch closed cell foam versus 4-inch open cell foam, and that's the reason. Because I can still run electricity, I can still run wires if I want to make some last minute changes or whatnot. And this was a last minute change here. And so normally you drill a hole through the wall and run the lines down the wall outside. And I didn't want gaudy wires and pipes going down there. And so running them inside as much as I could did a better job on insulating them as well. So that was a plus, and I just ran it through the floorboards and out the bottom side, so that worked out really good. So later, I probably will be cussing myself out later on when I put walls on. I have to deal with, all that stuff because I got my cart from the horses there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I kept it as give you as much information I can. Hope this helps y'all figure out whether what kind of system you want. When it comes to the name brand, I'm not going to mention any name brands, but they're all about the same. They all come with a remote control. Some of them have temperature gauges right on here, and you can some of them have infrared, follow humans around. The air kind of goes where, so there's lots of little, and it's all a money thing, how much money you want to spend. But I've been living in this, in here, running this mini split for about week and a half now. And it's been in the 30s outside and nice and cozy, 70 degrees in here. So anyway, I'm a big believer in these, ductless systems, and they've come a long ways in the last few decades. So anyway, y'all be safe, and make sure you subscribe, because we're going to be doing some concrete work, and we're going to put a shower in, and we got a bunch of other activities that we're going to be doing, builds and stuff. So anyway, don't want you to miss that. So anyway, have a great day, stay safe. Ciao for now.